Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Good Afternoon Ghana here on Metro Television. My name is Kenneth Jesse. So the ruling New Patriotic Party will be going to the polls very soon to elect new national executives for the party. What are the prospects of the candidates in the race? Hello again. If you just joined us, this is Good Afternoon Ghana here on Metro Television with me, Kenneth Jesse. We're discussing the upcoming national executive elections of the ruling New Patriotic Party. And I'll be joined shortly by Pollster Ben Ephson, who will be sharing his thought on what to expect in the upcoming elections. We have less than a week to that particular elections. Let's go to Ben Ephson now. Do we have him? Yes. Mr. Ephson, good afternoon. Welcome to Metro TV.
Good afternoon to your viewers.
Right. Let me pick your general overview of the upcoming elections of the New Patriotic Party.
Well, I think that this weekend's national elections is going to be the icing on the cake for the series of elections that has taken place from constituency, from polling station, constituency, regional, and now national. The work we did concentrated on two main positions: the national chairman and the general secretary. So, and there are two facets to this weekend's election. One, concerning the flag bearership slot, there will be about 205,000 who will be voting for the flag bearer. For these national elections, it's a selected few who will be voting. And I think that this weekend it will be interesting to see the winners and the losers.
Right. Interesting. So, they brought out a directive that there is not going to be any form of vote buying, so candidates cannot feed the delegates. They also brought out a directive saying that nobody should mount billboards and all that. Well, with the billboards, our checks indicate that it has been flouted. Talking about the vote buying, do you think that these candidates can actually follow that directive, that they should not buy the votes of the electorates?
You know, brother, vote buying is an art of the mind. It is not like flag bearership that if you have to get your people elected, that you don't do vote buying on that day. Those who are going to elect the national executives are delegates, are people who've already made up their mind. And I don't think that the next few days there is going to be, if somebody is going to buy, if for example you are a delegate, somebody will come and see you at home. Is not going to wait to get to the Accra Sports Stadium this weekend. That is going to give you money there. Yes, so the party has done what needs to be done, cautioned people about vote buying. But if there's going to be any vote buying, it will be done before they get to the scene of voting.
Okay. All right, so now let's go through the chairmanship position, which you said is one of the two positions you've done extensive research on, and give us your prediction on who is likely to emerge as the winner. So with the chairmanship, we have the only female, Davi Amagifti Asantua Aye. We have Sami Crab. We also have Professor Christopher Amiyao Ekumfi. We have Akwesi Osei Ejay. We also have Stephen Ayensun Tim, who is going for a fifth time and trying to see if he'll be lucky this time. Stephen Asamoah Boateng is also in there, and Kwabena Abankwayabwa. Who is likely to emerge as winner?
I think that between now and Saturday is between three people. Stephen Ntim, Professor Mayor Kumfi, and Asamoah Barton. Stephen Ntim going for the 5th time is going to depend on how he's able to answer a question that people have been throwing at him. Why do you want it so badly that you are going for the 5th time? What is in there that after 4 times you want to go again? If he's able to answer that question satisfactorily, he will carry the day. If he doesn't, Professor Ameyu Kumfi may sneak through and win.
What about Stephen Asamoah Barton?
He's the dark horse in the race. He entered late. As at last week, we pick up intel that he was in the northern regions. So, like I said, it's between the 3. If Stephen Ntim rules himself out by not being able to answer satisfactorily, then it will be head-on between Professor Mayor Kumfi and Asamoah Barton.
Right. What answer to that question do you think could make the delegates consider voting for Stephen Ntim?
People will begin to wonder that in campaigning for this position, you spend money. In the last election, his 4th attempt, he could have won easily, but for a bit of indiscretion on his part. Indiscretion in the sense that, he had a chat with the president, and that kind of leaked out. Towards this weekend, if people ask him, for example, if I'm a delegate, I am not, but if I'm a delegate and I ask Mr. Ntim, why do you want to go for the 5th time? What is in there? And he doesn't give me a satisfactory answer. Because his opponents are alleging that he has a particular interest in that position because of some ulterior motive. So he has to scale that last limit. Otherwise, people may decide that he may have other reasons than service to the party. That's why I'm saying that how he answers that particular question will depend on whether he will win or not.
Right. Let's talk
because these are delegates who know the party well.
Okay, let's talk about the only woman in the mix, Gifty Asantewaa. You think she stands no chance at all?
At all. I don't think he stands any chance at all.
Right. Let's now go to the General Secretary position. We have the incumbent, John Boadu, going again. Idrisu Musa is also contesting. We have Charles Bisiu, who is also part of the mix. We have Frederick Opariansan. We also have Justin Kodua Frimpong. We have Ajimandua as well. Who is likely to emerge as winner from this category?
I think that John Boadu has a bit of the edge. The other 2 contenders who might come close to him will be Charles Bisiu and Opariansan. You see, when you have 5 or 6 people contesting, and there are 4 strong ones, it gives the incumbent an advantage. So, for example, if John Boadu is 30-35% popular, that means he's 65-70% unpopular. Those 4 3 or 4 strong candidates will be splitting those votes. So you will see that John Bedu may end up retaining his position with about 40% or less of the votes.
Okay.
So he is the favorite to win.
Okay.
Yeah.
And assuming John Boadu wins like you are predicting, who do you think he's likely to back for the flag bearership position?
Oh, that one. You see, no matter who wins at this level, there is nothing they can do to back a flag bearer and the flag bearer will win. There are going to be 205,000 delegates to elect the flag bearer. And if at this stage you haven't got your supporters elected at the polling station and constituency levels, even if they pick your brother or your sister as the chairman or general secretary, there is nothing they can do to help you.
Right. People have also said that you should exit when the applause is loudest. People were actually thinking that John Boadu would have exited with Freddie Blay after supervising 2 election victories. Do you agree with them that he should have made way for new entrants?
Perhaps the other argument, the other side of the coin is that if the national chairman is exiting, perhaps the general secretary should retain himself, should be retained to be able to hold the axis of the party. Because breaking the 8 will not be easy, and maybe you may need continuity, but all are in the hands of the delegates who will vote this weekend.
Right. Ghana recently went to the International Monetary Fund for a bailout. Do you think that could change a delegate's mind on the candidate that, say, he wanted to vote for 2 weeks ago? Do you think he might have a change of mind because he might think that that candidate could help a better cause?
Ghana going to the IMF has nothing to do with the chairmanship or the national elections. These are 2 distinct elections. Perhaps if he gets to the flag bearership race, this could be a valid question to ask. Because Dr. Bamia is chairman of the EMT. EMT is one of the potential aspirants. Mr. Lantra Martin is also a member of the economic management team. He's also contesting. So when maybe it comes to the flag bearership, this will be an appropriate question to ask, whether that is going to impact on their chances among the over 200,000 people who will be voting for them.
Okay. All right, let's come to the national vice chairperson position. We have Ishmael, we also have McJewel Zanan, we have Dankwa Smith, we have Rita Talata, we have Edmund Opon Pepra, we have Kirsten Akumen Kisi, we have Derek Kwame Nkansa, we have Michael Omari Wadie, we also have Ken Wood, we have Alhaji Masawudu Osman. Who is likely to emerge victorious?
Hello?
Yes, I'm asking who is likely amongst the names I mentioned to emerge victorious. And if you did not hear the names, I would mention them again. That is the national vice chairperson position.
I heard the names.
Okay.
I think that you haven't done any work, but there is a rule of thumb that people should bear in mind when it comes to such national elections. There is going to be regional basis. There's going to be ethnicity. So you are going to get those people, and these are limited. It's not over the 200,000. So people who are going to vote for, I mean, some of them who are contesting they want to be retained. So if you have not delivered in terms of running of the party at the national level, then you should know that those people who have influence will work against you. So the first vice and so on, we didn't do any work. We just did work on the chairman and general secretary positions.
Okay, let's go back to the general secretary position. With the chairmanship position, you mentioned that Stephen Asamoah Boateng is the dark horse in that race. Who is a dark horse in the general secretary position?
I think Charles Bisu is. If the favorite John Boadu does not get his act together, Charles Bisu could cause a surprise.
Right. So with the national chairman position, are there likely to be any upset? And if we are to see any upset, which one will be the most shocking?
I think that if the national chairman comes out beyond the top three, I'll be very surprised.
National chairman who?
The top three being Ameya Kumfi, Asamoah Boateng, or in team.
Okay.
If anyone wins the national chairmanship out of this short list of three, that I will consider a shock result.
Right. You did mention some time back when they held their regional elections that vote buying was massive. Even prior to that, you mentioned that Chairman Wontumi was likely to lose, and in the end, he emerged victorious. With the issue of vote buying, which you said that people have already made up their minds, do you think it's going to be much of a big influence like it was in the regional elections?
You know, if somebody has never held 2,000 in his hand before, and that person is giving 2,000 and made to maybe swear that he will vote for A or B, what do you expect? That is at the regional level. But for this level of voting, it is going to be beyond money. These are people who are looking at the future of the party. These are people, if in course of the past 3-4 years, that national elections, the national officers had not done their work well, they will influence others not to retain you.
Okay, all right. Although you did mention...
For example, in the Ashanti region, for example.
Carry on, please.
Yes, in the Ashanti region, for example, the voting was done at the sports stadium. Someone brought a bullion van there, and money was shared. I don't think that thing is going to happen this weekend.
Who brought it?
Yes, I don't think. Pardon?
Who brought that money in a bullion van?
Oh, the person knows himself.
But I don't know who it is, so I'll be happy if you share it with me.
Well, I think that, no, for legal reasons, you know.
Okay.
I have a picture and I have some videos, you know, but I don't want to go there. The person knows himself. The person who came with the bullion van, gave the money out, people swore and so on. The person knows himself. And I think that I will leave it for now.
Okay. Although you have mentioned that you have done extensive research on the chairmanship position and also the general secretary position, but one position that is very peculiar, especially having to do with the youth, is the national youth organizer. And we do know that Ghana's population is largely youthful. So let's go through that one and give me your prediction of who you think is likely to emerge victorious. Now, we have Abanga Fuseni Yakubu, we have Salam Mohammed Mustafa, we have Prince Kamal Guma, we also have Michael Osei Boateng. Who should we expect to win in that position?
Hello?
Yes, who is likely to emerge?
We didn't do any work there, but I think that there are unseen slates in this national election. The chairman and the secretary, the top three in each of these two positions have been backing people they want to work with. So it's the person who wins, because the voting will be done within camps. And just to protect your station and myself, I don't want to speculate as to change of money or something like that. But I think that maybe if we have a chat before the voting on Saturday, I may give you a hint, because within the past week, things are crystallizing as to the influence, how people, delegates, potential delegates can be influenced to vote in a particular manner.
Okay. Do you think where people come from could also play an influence in who could win in what position?
It will be very minute. It will be very minute. I mean, like if you look at the flag bearership, for example, maybe one is getting to time, but the top three have had almost all those who are interested have sponsored candidates to be elected at the various levels, because they will form a chunk of the 205,000 delegates who will vote.
Right.
And I believe that for the flag bearership, the top three are Baumia, Kennedy, Japan, and Alan Martin.
Okay, let's talk about the likely attendance on the day. Do you think the delegates will turn up in their numbers to come and vote, or you think voter turnout could be low?
Oh, I think that everybody, those who are qualified to vote, will turn up. You know, breaking the 8, I mean, then NPP has been a bit smart than the NDC. They've gone to polls early, and we need time. Whenever there are such elections, enmities are created, tensions are done, and you need 3-4 months to heal and to move forward. And I think that after Saturday, no matter who wins, they would know that the team that will be picked will need to prepare the grounds for the flag bearership election. And then breaking the 8 is not going to be chicken feed. This will be the first time a party will succeed in retaining the post after 8 years. So I think that many of those who will be voting for the national have a fair idea. Of course, maybe a few money may change hands, but I think that the chairman and the secretaryship, these are two crucial positions that it will be very competitive, very, very competitive.
Right. Talking about breaking the 8, we have John Bwedu, who is the incumbent, going again, and he has supervised one of the largest election victories in terms of numbers in this country. Do you think, should he win, he could actually help the NPP do the unthinkable and break the 8?
Well, he will have a bit of advantage in helping them win 2016 and retaining it. But if the other factors don't come into play, for example, if the NPP government does not deliver, first, what they need to do, even before delivering, they must have the support of their base. Their supporters must be motivated to come out and vote. Then 2, the NPP government will have to do well to be able to let majority of the swing voters, and I estimate such swing voters to be at least 30% based on my analysis of the 2020 elections. The NPP government must do well within the next 1.5 years to let majority of the swing voters decide to retain them in power. The last 8 to 10 months before voting, if you cut your head, the swing voter will not mind you. You know that you are doing that because of voting.
I see. We'll still stay on John Buedu because he's the senior most person who is also contesting for the same position. Let's assume that the tables turn and he doesn't win. How difficult is it going to be for the new General Secretary to actually help the New Patriotic Party break the 8?
I think a lot will depend on whoever wins mindset. You've come into a new position as General Secretary. Are you coming to help the party break the 8? Or you are coming to come with an agenda to help a flag bearer win? Because whoever is elected the flag bearer will need the party vehicle to campaign and achieve results. So if John Buedu does not win, whoever wins must be able to bear in mind that the party will be the vehicle for which the party will retain the presidency and recoup some of the huge loss of seats in 2020. So whoever wins, apart from John Buedu, will have to conform, otherwise the party is finished.
Right. Are there some cracks in the party from where you sit?
Master, the tongue and teeth in your mouth, then they often have problems. Definitely their cracks are there. How to plaster them and put the common good of the party is what the newly elected national executive must bear in mind. Your inability to put these disagreements aside will give the party problems.
Right. Back in 2016, we saw the suspension of the national chairman. We saw the suspension of the general secretary. But it looks like this time everybody has learned their lessons and everything is going on smoothly. What do you think has really changed?
I think that people have seen, and 2020 was a typical example. I've done polling for 22 years. And if you see the number of seats the NPP lost in the parliamentary, the NDC won those seats. And if you look at the presidential and the NDC's candidate losing woefully by more than 514,000 votes, then you see that is the swing voter who will determine the winners in the parliamentary and presidential elections in 2024.
Okay. Quickly, before I let you go, let's run by the aspirants in the chairmanship position. Again, we have Davi Ama Gifty Asantwa Aya. We have Sami Krab. We also have Professor Christopher Ameya Ekumfi. We have Akwesio Seje. We have Stephen Ayensun Tim. We have Stephen Asamoah Boatin. We have Kwabena Abankwaya Boa. And Ben Ephson is predicting that Stephen in team, if he is able to answer peculiar questions as to why he's contesting again and again and again and again, perhaps the delegates will consider him. He also mentioned that the dark horse in this race is Stephen Asamoah Boateng. I believe that is correct, Mr. Ephson.
Yes, I said if in team does not answer that question well, it's between Professor Mayor Kunfi and Asamoah Boateng.
Okay, and then with the general secretary position also, we have the incumbent, John Buedu, going again. We have Idrisu Musa. We also have Ajamaiduya. We have Charles Bisiu. We have Frederick Opariansan. And we have Justin Kudia Frempong. And Mr. Benefson says that incumbent John Buedu is likely to be retained, and the dark horse in this one is going to be Charles Bisiu. I believe that is correct as well.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Thank you very much for speaking to us this afternoon. Ben Ephson is a pollster, and we spoke to him this afternoon on the chances of the new Patriotic Party candidates who will be going for the various positions in the upcoming elections in less than a week's time. And trust Metro Television to bring you everything concerning that particular election. So, this is just coming in, and it says petition against discrepancies in the TESCON album to be used for the election of the National Youth Organizer, and reads, as an aspirant for the position of National Youth Organizer of the New Patriotic Party, and having received the album that will be used for electing the next National Youth Organizer, I have studied the album and noticed some discrepancies that I seek to petition your committee for further interrogation and redress. The TESCON album contains some non-existent and unaccredited institutions in some of the regions. These non-existent institutions that have found their way into the album are predominantly distance learning centers and not schools properly so-called. All right, so that petition that I just read to you is by Prince Kamal Guma for the National Youth Organizer position. Right. So, as I mentioned earlier, trust Metro TV to bring you comprehensive coverage of the NPP's national executive elections. We'll start on the 15th of July and end on the 17th of July. Don't choose any other station apart from this station. We are going to bring you expert analysis. We're going to bring you everything you have to know concerning the upcoming elections. That has been it for Good Afternoon, Ghana. Thank you very much for being a part of the program today. My name is Kenneth Jesse. Bye for now.